Hey there, Nick Yousoufian here, and I've got another movie review, and this time it is a good one. It's The Abyss from 1989, directed by James Cameron. Now this, I looked up the information on the IMDb. This movie is 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's rated PG-13, and it's a 2-disc special edition right here. Here's one. And then here's the special editions where it goes over all the behind the scenes stuff, including trying to find the world's largest tank to be able to handle the effects. The story that James Cameron wrote, because he originally saw the H.G. Wells' The War of the Worlds, The Time Traveler, The Time Explorer, something like that, which is pretty much amongst the very first sci-fi novels of all time. 1897, and it deals with some guy who goes down to the depths, discovers an underwater alien city, returns, and spoilers for a 100-year-old book, doesn't return the second time. So, yes, there was a lot of production issues of just things not working out well, weather, the actors going home and crying and things like that. I'm like, okay, what is this movie about? I didn't know what to expect. I went in completely blind. Right here. I went completely blind, and there's a reason why it's won the best the awards for best special effects of 1989. So there's a ship that gets capsized, and you can tell it doesn't get capsized, but it gets destroyed deep underneath the waters. And there's a bunch of an oil rig crew has to go and explore them. They get compensated, of course. What they discover down there is something interesting. There appears to be another life form. There's another life form other than just us humans. What could it be? Could it be some phallic-looking jellyfish? Is it something that's hostile, or is it something that's translucent? Well, it keeps you... Yeah, there's more to it than that. It's 90% human drama, 10% sci-fi. So I'm looking at my notes here, gets right into the action. I was thinking that this was going to be like a slow burn, where it just be like, where it's just boiling and then eventually the water boils. No, it's right into the action, and honestly, it doesn't let go. You're right into the action. And just when you think, oh, they're just going to explore it, there's also a massive hurricane that's coming, and that's pretty much just going to suspend rescue operations of the crew. So they're just down there. They're like, oh, we don't know what to do. Eventually, some paranoia starts to set in. I believe it is called, what is the name of the disease? Kind of like the bends, where if you're down too much in the water, you come back up too soon. Your body doesn't get adjusted to the atmosphere pressure, and you just explode. Yes, high pressure nervous syndrome. I don't know if that's an actual term or if that's just invented for the movie, but you can infer it from there. So, yeah, I mean, they go, 2 miles under the water, something like that. I'm just like, holy smokes. So, yeah, you could tell that James Cameron knew what he was doing. About 25 minutes in, there's a nice POV shot of a guy. You can see a first-person view of a guy who's nervous because he doesn't know what to expect. I mean, seeing dead bodies inside the submarine is like, what's going on here? 50 minutes in, you get like the standard action will be depleted cliche. And they eventually come up with the phrase, the non-terrestrial intelligence. So what is that? The aquatic version of a UFO? There's two things that make up this movie very well. About an hour and 7 minutes in, we get to see a very nice POV of the alien, and it just leaves just this long trail that is... You just have to see it to believe it. It's amazing. And the alien impersonates the humans' faces, which they actually... One of the first uses of CGI in movies. That means taking like roughly 12 pictures of Ed Harris's face, and whoever the lady was, I forgot. Mary Elizabeth, last name eludes me. So they did that, integrated into a 1980s program in order to create the digital effects, which I'm like, this is pretty darn good for 1989. And then, of course, eventually a guy with the oil rig captain, a guy with a mustache, starts growing paranoid from the high pressure nervous syndrome. And for like 30 minutes, what does my notes say here? Roughly 30 minutes or something like that. It goes. It's almost like a combat sequence. I'm like, this is an action adventure sci-fi. Interesting. Including a tense scene of going up behind him and trying to whack him, going deeper into the abyss. And I was like, okay, I can see where this is going now. Soon we'll eventually discover what's going on. Of course, the mustache guy is carrying a bomb. Of course, because he's paranoid that Russia has invented new technology. And like, this is a sentient alien. So that goes on for a little bit. All the while, in the meantime, there's a separated husband and wife who have to work professionally, but eventually over time they start reconnecting, including a very harsh scene where there's we're about an hour and 30 minutes in. They reconcile, I guess. They start falling in love again, whatever it is. Well, then again, when there's water rising inside the submarine, and then the husband Virgil brings in his wife Lindsay, ex-wife, excuse me, and they have to resuscitate her. From behind that, and they said, okay, so everything happens, everyone's good. We have to go and retrieve this bomb, and it's deep. So Virgil, the main lead guy, played by Ed Harris, has to go down, and of course, because it's so deep, they get his lungs filled with liquid, and eventually he's like, okay, go down here, honey, listen to my voice. You can only type your responses. You can't exactly speak back to him to keep him calm as you descend 3 to 4 miles up beneath the earth. Yes, so literally this movie is literally descending into the abyss. And of course we see what happens with the aliens. They emerge up. So yeah, that's the plot. Music is great, and it just feels like you're underneath the water. It's like serene, calm, at the same time kind of terrifying, The story is very, very balanced. There ain't no things being introduced last second. Everything has its own logical progression of exploring the bomb, the paranoia, the bends, all that stuff. The acting I thought was going to be fine, I guess, but then once we get into later when said things come in, it's like, okay, I'm actually liking this, and I'm actually liking what I see. Pretty darn cool stuff. The build up is great. And it pays off almost. I do have to nitpick with the ending. Most people said it's a Deus Ex Machina, but at the same time, I'm like, oh yeah, the aliens just fix everything. But at the same time, I'm just like, I can kind of see where there's this whole city of aliens underneath, and they're not a threat. They're actually peaceful, they're not aggressive. It's peaceful. So how do I feel about this? Special effects are fantastic. It gets right to the point. It's a visual masterpiece. I guess maybe what some people may not like is the kind of ending where everything just gets resolved. That's why I read online. People are just like, yeah, that was like the only thing I could really say. This is more of a special effects movie. There is some good acting. This is not going to win Best Performance of the Year. I'm letting you know that right now. But considering that's James Cameron who directed the Terminator, yes, you will enjoy The Abyss.